Welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation with me, your host, Owen James, the channel that brings you your team every single day, guys. And we've got some news about a defensive reinforcement. And it's names from the past that have now come back up and back around again. And one of the names that's been linked with the move to Rangers is reportedly been linked by Heart and Hand, obviously, who are in the know, kind of, they are official club partners. You pretty much know if Heart and Hand are rumouring it, it's probably got some truth in it and some legs in it. You know, if it's coming from somewhere like Football Insider or Football Scotland or the Daily Record, then it's probably can be taken with a pinch of salt. You know, it could be a whole load of rubbish. But this is coming from Heart and Hand. So, you know, this is interesting news nonetheless. The other is a link that I think may cause a little bit of argument, a little bit of controversy, a little bit of, oh my God, sentiments from some Rangers fans. We're going to talk about two defensive reinforcements. And what's really encouraging, guys, is again, it's centre backs. It's actually some centre backs. And you know what? We talked, didn't we, on the podcast last night? We talked on the video this morning. And it was all about, how I was concerned realistically that, yes, it's good to be linked with midfielders, wingers, strikers, etc., etc. But, for me personally, the defence is, absolutely vital to be rebuilt. It needs a huge overhaul. I think we can probably get by in the medium term, or the short term with Dujon Sterling and Ridvan as the fullbacks, but the centre backs, really do concern me. I think CJ Novo put it best this morning when he put, if Leon Balogun is your best option at centre back going into the new season, you've got problems. The guy's 36. You can't depend on a 36-year-old. Nothing against Big Leon. I'm sure that twice a week he can probably do it. Saturday to Saturday or Saturday to Sunday or whatever. He can more than do it. He's that good. His fitness is great. He's a good player and he's a guy who loves the club. But 3 times a week, you're realistically not going to get 3 games a week out of Leon Balogun. So, who are these players? Who are these names? Now, the first name is a name that has come back up again, having been previously linked and denied by Rangers Review. But this is now come back round again. It's interesting it's come after Sam Lammer's move to FC Twente, with the Dutch journalists now reporting that Rangers apparently are rekindling an interest in and have been scouting Mees Hilgers, the Dutch centre-back of Indonesian origin. He is from Indonesian descent. His mum is from Manado, which is an area of Indonesia. Apparently, he is 6'1" tall. He looks a very good, young, talented centre-back. Many people are saying that if we do bring in a centre-back, it will be a young centre-back because of the fact that we have a lot of already older centre-backs at the club. With the fact that Ben Davies is already there, John Souttar is already there, Leon Balogun is already there. So there is experience there already, perhaps not the best experience, perhaps not starting quality experience, but certainly experience. And Clement does seem to quite like Ben Davies at this moment in time. And we all know that he has, he does like Big Leon as well. But Mees Hilgers is a very interesting person indeed. He is only 23 years old. Like I said, he's from Amersfoort in the Netherlands. So he's a Dutch citizen. He has represented Holland at under 21 level, the Netherlands at under 21 level. He's a centre-back. He's a right-sided centre-back, which many people may say, well, don't we need left-sided centre-backs? Well, I think there's a possibility that Ben Davies is seen as been the left-sided centre-back for Rangers. I think that could well be an option. And Hilgers could play alongside of him with maybe, John Souttar missing out or Leon Balogun missing out. He's right-footed. He joined FC Twente in 2020. He is under contract until the end of 2026. So, that is the one slight hang up on this, that the fact that the contract, he is under contract till 2026. So, as a young up and coming talented player, he would cost a reasonable amount of money. Now, Transfer Market lists his value at around €7 million, which is about £6 million, which, for a good centre-back, for a good young centre-back is actually peanuts. It's nothing, especially when you consider that, down south, you've got centre-backs being transferred for upwards of £80 million. The majority of his career has been spent centre-back. He's played 130 times at centre-back, scoring 6 goals and 1 assist, 4 times in centre midfield, twice as a right-back and once as a left-back. He's entirely spent his time with FC Twente in the Netherlands. And, there's just something, isn't there, about Dutch clubs and the way they bring players through and the way they mature players and the way they develop young players. That if a player has come through a Dutch system, they have had a decent upbringing, a decent education. And I know that, there are Dutch players that haven't worked out, Sam Lammers, for example, but, we have got a very proud tradition at Rangers of Dutch players and, Dutch defenders doing very well at the club. Newman, for example, Rickson, who's played, obviously, and obviously, Dutch players that have played all over our team, the De Boer brothers, Michael Moles, a whole list of Dutch players I'm sure you could reel off as well and add to that list. He also played 47 times for FC20s under 19s, 10 times for their under 21s, and 7 times for their under 17s. Hilgers is currently averaging around 20 games a season for FC20. And I think, a lot of people would say, well, what about the experience? But, this guy has already, played 97 times for FC20 in the first team. He's 3 appearances short of 100 appearances in first team football. So it's not like another Clinton Nsiala who's coming with no first team experience. Nsiala's game against Birmingham City, that was the first time he played senior football. Yes, he had been on the bench for AC Milan against Newcastle in the Champions League, but he didn't get on in that game. He hadn't actually played at the first team level. So Hilgers at least is coming in with nearly 100 appearances at first team level under his belt, if obviously he is coming in. I think Hilgers will be a very good signing. He's 6'1". He's got the height. He is quick. He is a very talented defender. And like most Dutch defenders, he's comfortable on the ball. He uses the ball well. And I think this would be a very good signing for Rangers. Could they get it over the line? This is certainly out there. Now, I know this is a link that is coming back up and round again. It was originally linked. Arno Brugging, who is the sporting director at Twente, originally said that there'd been no concrete offers. And we don't know whether there's been a concrete offer yet, but we do know that this is a player that is interesting Rangers again, and that's certainly someone that they are looking at. Now, given the fact that the transfer deadline in terms of the Champions League is Thursday, with Champions League squads having to be submitted by Thursday, the 1st of August, I do think these first 3 days of this week could be very busy at Rangers. Certainly ones to keep an eye on. But hopefully, I think if we come out, if it's Thursday morning, it's the 1st of August, and we have submitted our squad and we've added no players to that squad, and we're going up against a very good Dynamo Kiev team, I think we are really going to struggle to qualify for the Champions League. I think we'll struggle to get through the 3rd qualifying round if we don't add to this squad. I really firmly believe that. The other player is another name that will cause a bit of a furore amongst Rangers fans, and that is Scott McKenna. Again, McKenna is being linked with a move to Rangers. McKenna is currently without a club. He is currently training with Aberdeen, where he started his career. Apparently, though, they can't afford to give him a deal. But he is obviously staying there, a bit like John Fleck is doing with us. And no, we don't want John Fleck before anyone suggests that one. I know he's not a central defender, but, we don't want him full stop. But, McKenna is a Scottish international, has got a wide and varied experience. He's played over 100 times for Aberdeen. He's played over 100 games for Forest in the Championship and the EPL. Had a loan spell at Copenhagen last season as well, 15 appearances for them. A very good Copenhagen team, as we saw, didn't we, when they came and played a friendly against Rangers to Ibrox. He also played for Ayr and Alloa, came through the Aberdeen youth system, like I said. Now, he is currently without a club, so would not actually cost a transfer fee. He would actually be basically free. You would only have the signing on fee and the wages to pay, which, if Rangers start to get to the point where we do actually need a centre half. We do actually, which we do, and we're struggling to sign anybody. It may be that McKenna becomes an increasingly attractive prospect. He's 6'2", 6'3", I think it is, about 1.89 meters, about 6'2", 6'3". So he's a big guy. He's a big physical guy. There are concerns over him. Obviously, he was dumped by Forest and deemed not good enough by Nottingham Forest. So you've got to kind of think, picking up cast-offs from Forest, is that where we're at this moment in time? And I think, unfortunately, we are looking in that market to some degree. We are looking for bargains. There is, of course, the story around McKenna that he's a Celtic fan and that he hates Rangers, which, I don't think, look, I get, for fans like us who are never going to play professional football, I think, that is a big thing. I would say personally, I would never play for Celtic. I'd never pull on a Celtic jersey, would never, ever play for them. But when you're a professional footballer, when you're without a club, when you're looking to play first team football, when you're looking probably to play in Europe as well, even if a club that you would consider, your arch rival as a supporter comes in and offers you a contract and offers you a decent contract, you're not going to turn it down realistically, because you've got to think about your family, you've got to think about your future, you've got to think about securing your family's future. And if that club are willing to pay you a decent wage to go there, you're going to take it. Whether you are a dyed-in-the-wool Celtic fan going to Rangers, or a dyed-in-the-wool Rangers fan going to Celtic, that's just how it is. We see it all the time, don't we? Mo Johnston came obviously across to Rangers. You see players moving between Barcelona and Real Madrid, and vice versa. You see players moving between Dortmund and Bayern Munich. I know those rivalries are not as intense as Celtic Rangers, but they're still rivalries. You've seen players move between Man United and Manchester City. You've seen players move between Liverpool and Man United as well, between Leeds and Man United, Alan Smith, for example. So, and again, like I said, I know those rivalries aren't as intense, but I think at the end of the day, if you are a player who is out of contract and you want to play football, and even if a club that you would consider, your arch rival as a supporter comes in and offers you a deal, you're probably going to take it. McKenna would bring physicality. I've got my reservations about Scott McKenna. I think he's a bit slow on the turn at times. I don't think he's top quality. Yes, he is a Scottish international. Yes, he has played in the English Premier League, but out of the two of them, I think Hilgers is the best option. It may even be that Rangers are looking to bring in two. And if they look to bring in two, fine. But I think if it is two, one would have to go out first before two came in. But it's interesting, isn't it, that it does seem finally there is attention being turned to the defensive side of the game, and centre-backs are being looked at. Right, guys, let me know what you think about those stories coming out this afternoon of the club and out of Scottish, Dutch, English media. Thank you very much for watching Glasgow Rangers Nation. Guys, please obviously smash that sub. And on the way out, if you can do me two favours, as always. Number one, please obviously smash that like. Number two, remember always, we are the people.